Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. General thoughts about the SEC action over the weekend, but we do start with LSU and Arkansas. Tigers win 34-31. I knew walking out of the stadium on Saturday night, as I walked across into the parking lot, up into the studio to do the post-game show, I said, this feels like one of those games that my tenor and tone in post-game immediately after is going to be different than I feel on Monday. I felt like that was going to be the case. And yes, on the post-game show, like Brandon Taylor's sitting there with me, and we harped on the defense a good bit because you just didn't expect LSU to allow Arkansas to roll up 31 points in the game and to score as freely as they did in the second half. And I want to talk about that certainly 15 minutes from now. I want to start today. We're starting our week. It's Monday. Nobody wants to have the Monday blues. You want a little bit of positivity in your life on a Monday to start things off. So I am going to start with LSU's offense and the way that the Tigers performed in this game and have performed now through a month of the season. LSU scored on its last 6 drives of the game. And all of those drives were 68-plus yards. It wasn't like they got set up on short fields. LSU was consistently driving the football down the field and scoring. They got a field goal for their first score early in the second quarter. They went down and got the late touchdown right before halftime. They come out, take the football, and 3 straight touchdown drives, and then they bleed 5 minutes and 1 second off the clock in the final drive to get the field goal that wins the game. I went back over the last 3 weeks post-Florida State. I know, Grambling, as I've referred to it on here for a month now, was a scrimmage. But then you take the first 2 conference games against Mississippi State and Arkansas, and LSU's offense has been remarkably consistent over those 3 games. They've had the football, not counting drives that ended at the half where they didn't try to score. I threw those out. 28 drives over those 3 games versus Grambling, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. They've had the ball 28 times. They have scored 23 of those 28 times. That's 82% of their drives they have gotten points on. 19 of the 28 have resulted in touchdowns. That's 68% of your drives, almost 7 out of 10 going for touchdowns. Say what you will about Grambling, say what you will about Mississippi State, say what you will about Arkansas, and how those aren't championship-level teams, and LSU has aspirations of winning the West and winning the SEC and playing in the college football playoff, and these are not the types of defense you're going to play. Either way, they are doing a really good job on offense. Some of it's scheme, some of it's players, some of it's playmaking, some of it's good fortune, but they're doing a really good job. Jayden Daniels is taking shots down the field. He has absolutely done that the last 3 days. If you're one of those folks who was saying after the Florida State game, same old guy, not pushing the ball down the field, LSU's not taking shots. The last 3 weeks he has, and they were all wide open against Grambling, so who cares? But he dropped it in the bucket 3 different times against Mississippi State, and he did try to push it down the field against Arkansas. Yeah, he misfired on 2 of them in the first quarter. Taking shots, had guys open, was late getting to the read, and was late getting the ball out, and because of that, he underthrew. But you take another shot on a free play, and Brian Thomas cashes it. They're big plays. They're hitting them. And they should, because that should be a significant strength of this offense is getting the ball to really explosive playmakers down the field for big plays. Brian Thomas was awesome. 5 catches for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns of about 50 yards. And Malik Neighbors does his thing. 8 catches, 130 yards, and 2 scores. Averages 16 yards a catch with a long of 36. And you got a little run game going, finally. That's something we've been waiting on. And Logan Diggs, 14 carries, 97 yards, averages 7 yards a carry. And when they had to have it late in the game to run the clock out, he was good. And the other part of this offense is there was a little bit of versatility there. I love the fact that Arkansas goes down and scores. So they've got you kind of over a barrel here in the first half. And you look up and it's 13-3 after the KJ Jefferson touchdown pass to Broden. And you're going to get the ball inside a minute to play in the half. And generally speaking, LSU over the years has been pretty conservative in that spot. But down 13-3 with all three of your timeouts and the preseason all-conference quarterback who's the reigning conference player of the week offensively, like, you got to go try to get something done. And boom, boom, boom. Hit Thomas for 2 big plays, and you're in the end zone. Good aggressiveness, good decision-making, and then excellent execution offensively to make that happen. You show the quick strike ability. Then, on the flip side, late in the game, after Arkansas ties it, which I think they should have gone for 2, but either way, you have to go score, but with a 4-minute offense. The exact opposite of what you were looking at in the first half. And you're able to mount a long drive, 9 plays, 72 yards. You kept your timeouts, were able to use them late. We'll talk a little bit later whether or not they were used the way that I would have used them, and they probably weren't. But the same offense that was quick strike and explosive when you needed points before the half was able late in the game to embark on a 5-minute drive, to chew up some clock, to be efficient, and to put the points on the board that you needed. And you got it done. Was it perfect? No. Was it a really poor start with a punt, a really bad interception, and another punt? No. But after that, 8 plays, 68 yards, got a field goal. 3 plays, 75-yard touchdown. 3 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. 9 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. 10 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. 9 plays, 72 yards, got the field goal. LSU's offense is very, very good. And you can always find room for improvement. You can always critique. But as we approach game after game, you start with Ole Miss this week, and you got Missouri at 11 a.m. the following week, and Army and Auburn and Florida and Alabama and A&M. Like, we know what's coming. Each and every week when we start to look at these games, you can start with the baseline of, man, LSU's got a really good offense. Same group that rolled up 300 yards against Florida State couldn't convert the short yardage plays on 4th down, so the scoreboard didn't reflect how well LSU was moving the ball. But with Jayden Daniels, even when he didn't have his A game, they still rolled up 34 points and went on 6 straight 68-plus yard scoring drives. It's hard to ask for a ton more than that. We'll see what they do on the right side of the offensive line. We'll see what the running back situation shakes out. But you've got Daniels, you've got Neighbors, you've got Thomas, you've got Mason Taylor, and you're really tough to stop. And the stats I laid out at the very top of the show illustrate that. You're scoring over the last 3 games on 82% of your drives, and you're scoring touchdowns 68% of the time. And it was enough to win the game. You're sitting here 2-0 in league play. That's what you needed. We understand that for the second year in a row, there was a huge gut punch to start the year, and really, for the 4th year in a row, you lose the opener. But this staff had this opportunity last year, and they kind of took off on a runway. Now, you got Tennessee in that situation. You got blown out a second time. But you can see that this team's kind of taken that soft runway where they got probably it's 2 of the 3 worst teams in the West. And you got to continue to get better. You have to play better on Saturday, this coming Saturday, than you did this past Saturday. And I think everyone knows that. But the offense was very, very good. And I personally wanted to start there because it's Monday, and let's just get off to a nice start talking about some good things. But you're well aware that there was some really bad stuff. And the defense was chief among that for the majority of that football game. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll talk a little bit about what I saw on the defense and kind of what needs to happen, I guess. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.